right, welcome to HRM 381. My name is James Avey, and I will be your professor for this course. No matter what quarter you're taking, if you're watching this video, then I'm your guy. So hopefully it'll be good. I'm going to do a quick, basically just course intro. We'll walk through modules, figure out assignments, grading, kind of how that stuff works, and then a few just helpful hints we've been doing. For a little bit of background, I've taught this course for about 20 years. I worked in HR at the Boeing company, got my PhD in leadership, org behavior, and HR, and then I've been doing HR consulting and teaching ever since. So for the last 20 years here at Central, freaking love it. Love Central, love what we do, love the program. So it's a ton of fun. So what we might see from that or get from that is if I'm lecturing on something or explaining something, there'll be theory, of course, because theory is kind of contextual, if that makes sense. So theory tells me what happens in Australia and Canada and China, and as well as the differences. But you'll also probably get a lot of examples. Most of my stuff is either School of Hard Knocks or just from experiences. So that's the content that's going to be kind of flowing your way. You'll have a pretty quick idea as soon as you get to the Module 1 lecture of what HR is and kind of how I roll in my style. I live here in Ellensburg, been married for 25 years, I better get that right. I got 4 kids, so it's a lot of fun. But as for us and our time together, what you see on the screen here is the modules in Canvas. I'm sure this is probably not new at all. And the very first kind of section here is all just tools. These are the things that you need to know to do well in the course. That's it. After that, there's 6 modules. Every one of them is the exact same cadence, the same thing over and over. You got some video, you got some readings, you got a quiz, you got a simulation. Guess what after that? You got some videos, some readings, a quiz, and a simulation. So I'm going to walk through it quickly, but most of the time would be taken probably on this very first one because, as I said, after that, it's really consistent. It's a simple class to understand. It may not be simple content, but the flow of the class is pretty easy. So you have a course introduction video. Congratulations. You've already done that. That's a big win. And if you keep rolling down, there's a few different kind of options for extra credit, but the next big thing here is the simulation. So the class includes 5 different simulation assignments, and they're about as much as the quizzes. They're a really big deal, so it's difficult to blow that one off. So there is a video right here. The very first one, simulation assignment description. It just describes how to access the simulation, what it is, how do you make decisions, how do you compete, what are the resources, all that kind of stuff. And it's you against a set of rules. It's not just you trying to beat everyone else. There is a bit of that, which you'll see in the assignment. If you get on the top 5 of the leaderboard, it's an automatic 100%. So a little competitive juices there, but mostly it's you against kind of the requirements. How to access the simulation. It's a document right here that shows you how to get in. And if you are just getting your behind kicked and it's not going well, or you want to start out strong because you want to win, that's the third link here. That's your user guide. All kinds of helpful hints and things you should be doing, glossary, all that stuff. So that's about half of the class right there, simulation. And the next half of the class is the quizzes. If you're in the online class, there's a system that nobody loves, including me, and I've had to use it, called Respondus Lockdown Browser and Monitor. It's a pain in the neck. If you haven't done that, but if you have done it, then you already know it's a pain in the neck, but it is what it is. That's the system we have at Central. But if you haven't done it before, especially, you're going to want to check those out. You don't take the quiz like on a regular internet browser like Google Chrome or something like that. You download a separate browser. You have to have a webcam. You have to do an environmental scan. And the number one reason why I give zeros on these quizzes are 2 things. Number one, an environmental scan wasn't done. It just means where are you? Are you sitting there with 8 screens of ChatGPT and everything else up, or is it just you and it needs to be just you, phone down, all that kind of stuff. So environmental scan is a big one on that, which you can read about, as well as the just while you're taking the quiz. Some people are like, oh, I had to go outside. It's well, if you leave, it's game over. If you leave, it's a 0. So they're not long quizzes. Just sit down, go to the bathroom, whatever you need to do. Just sit down, just bang it out in one sitting. Other than that, people tend to do fine. But again, if you don't know what that is, you want to check it out. Basically, you're taking a quiz on a browser that doesn't allow you to click anywhere else, just for data integrity, and a webcam that's mostly just, it flags me. Like I'm not watching. I don't want to see what your bedroom looks like. Trust me. But it flags me and say, hey, this person left the screen. Check out the video. Hey, this person's like eyes are going out. Like, check out the video. Stuff like that. So that's how that works. Again, the quizzes are not they're not long at all, and they're straight out of the content of the course. But you'll see the due dates on those as we go through. The next thing here, just for information, is about a thing called the Society for Human Resource Management. If you are a management major, an HR major, even a LIMA called Leadership and Management major, then it's probably a club at the school that you want to be part of, and you can join it. You can join it for extra credit if you want, but it only kind of makes sense as if you're going the management and business route and then the HR route. The last thing that's a big deal from time to time, and if you don't see extra credit research for your class, then don't worry about it. It's not an option that quarter. But if it is, I do this from time to time. There's an opportunity to get actually a ton of extra credit by doing some research. So there's a description of how it works, and there's a video of me describing how it works. So like everything is here. On the extra credit research, just a heads up, there's a window, meaning near the end of the quarter, you can't be like, dang, I got a C, I want to get an A. Maybe can I do extra credit? Because I'll be like, yeah, dog, you could have done it like a month ago, but it's too late now. So there is a window. Just be watching the announcements as it comes through. So those are all your tactical stuff, right? How to access the quizzes, how to access the simulation, how to do well, extra credit, and all that. The rest of this is 6 modules that are built almost identical, right? So you have module 1.1. Those are PowerPoint slides, right? No big deal. I lecture from those slides. But they're like all the main points and the vocabulary. And if you take a quiz and there's a vocabulary question, guaranteed it's on those slides. So you can use those to study. This one is just a document for Module 1.1. That's a reader that I created. So from my research, from my lectures, transcripts from lectures, PowerPoint slides, all that, threw it all into big AI slot mix, and I said, give me a reader, a short reader for a student, where if they understand this, not a 500-page textbook, if they understand this, they're going to crush the quiz. That's what that is right there. The next that you have here are my lectures, right? So this is me lecturing over the introduction to HR, and that's the first half, that's the second half. That's module 1.1. Module 1.2, big shocker, the exact same thing. Some PowerPoint slides, a reader, think of it like a textbook, just free, and then video lecture of me going over it. Module 1.3. This is a bigger one. This is a really big set, EEO. It's like employment law, getting sued, wrongful discharge, discrimination, like all that kind of stuff. So it's a bigger chapter, so this lecture is divided into 3 parts. So you can quickly scan the slides, you can listen to the lectures, and you can read the reader if you would like to. At the end of it, there are the assignments, right? There's going to be quizzes or simulations at the end of each one of these. So one full module. So like module 1 is broken up into 3 sections. 1.1, 1.2, and 1.3, right? 3 sections. All of them have something to read, something to study, lecture, video, me going through stuff to watch. That's how you get the content in the class. Scanning slides, watching, taking notes on, studying lectures, and the readers if you would like to. At the end of every module, you'll take a quiz or do a simulation or both. It depends on kind of the quarter and how everything is compressed. So there'll be a little link right down here that says assignment, quiz 1 and when it's due. Before all of them is this little information here that says read carefully before taking the quiz. And it just gives you instructions on the quiz that you're about to take. That's all that is. If you understood that, this video could basically be done. It's the same thing, right? Module 2, Module 2.1, slides, book, lecture. Module 2.2, slides, book, lecture, quiz, simulation. Exact same thing, modules 3, 4, 5, and 6. And that's it. There'll be due dates on all of them. And you can click on like your assignment stream or whatever it is. That kind of shows you when stuff is coming up. The quizzes will be open for about 3 days. I usually do a Wednesday to Friday. Sometimes I do Thursday to Saturday. Kind of depends on the quarter. And that's what it is. And If all 3 of those days don't work for you, you just let me know, and maybe we make an exception. Maybe we don't. I mean, it kind of depends on the scenario. But it is open for several days, not the whole week, but several days. Okay. If you want to review the syllabus, all the fine print, course schedule, stuff like that, click over here where it says syllabus, and there'll be an attachment. In this case, I'm looking at summer 26, what we did there. And a big, fat, beautiful syllabus all the way down. Gives you course schedule. Gives you things like some people wanted to, like my AI policy. Like, what is that? Plagiarism policy, all that. How the quizzes are to be done. If you haven't, again, had a Respondus lockdown quiz before, you definitely want to read this. The course schedule is in here. All the grading, how everything is weighted in there. So yeah, you got it all. But one of the key pieces of information is going to be these under the simulation and the quiz. There's basically 3 chunks of points in the class. Simulation is a really big chunk. There's a video that tells you about it and how to access it. The quizzes are a really big chunk, and people generally do good on the quizzes unless they mess up with like the browser or something like that. I had one guy like 5-6 years ago. He's like, dude, I'm not doing the thing on the camera. And I was like, you don't have to. He's like, I don't? No, just drop the class. Like for this, it's the tool that we have, right? That's what we're going to use. If I happen to be in the office and you happen to live in Ellensburg and you want to come take it face to face, we can probably figure that out. But most people can figure it out pretty quick. So one chunk of points is the simulation, the other chunk of points is the quizzes, and the other chunk of points is extra credit. So as we go through, I generally have an evening for or a day for Zooms, and I will send out on announcements when that evening is. So if someone says, hey, are you having a problem, a tech problem, or an assignment problem, or an access problem, if it's quick, I'll just email you back, and then I'll be like, hey, I'll see you on Monday. And we'll just jump on Zoom and just kind of work through whatever it is that we need to work through. I use announcements frequently. So like every few days, you're going to see, here's what's going on, here's what we're doing. So if you're pretty good at that, when you click on this, when you open up the app, you'll see recent announcements. Some people call it a course stream, depending on what platform you're on. But it just says the latest thing that I've said. I generally don't waste your time. It's usually just, they're short, and it's just informing, hey, here are the next things that are coming up. So any questions on that, please get a hold of me. Welcome to HR 381. It's a ton of fun. What most people like about it is there's no group projects and there's no papers. No group projects especially. I usually get a few high fives on that one. But otherwise, the simulation is fun. It's kind of a gamification. It's playing games. So if you're competitive and you understand strategy games, you'll be just fine in business. That'll be fine. And the quizzes are about the most standard thing you can. There's a few different types of questions, right? There's definition, kind of the vocab questions. There's conceptual questions, and there's application questions. Those are the ones that everybody hates, right? They're the big paragraphs with examples and stuff like that. But if you've made it this far in college, you've probably had quizzes like that before. And those are the 2 big chunks. So keep in touch. Ask me any questions you have. Carve out my schedule. I'm very available. We can jump on Zoom or phone. If you call my office phone number, which is listed on the syllabus, it'll ring straight through to my cell phone number. So it's pretty quick communication. Other than that, looking forward to it. Let's have a great session.